Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about a really rare condition, one that basically turns the body's own signals against itself in a pretty dramatic and honestly dangerous way.
So how does this happen? Well, let's dive right into this medical mystery. It all kicks off with this one single, totally overwhelming symptom, one that can completely turn a person's life upside down. And the worst part? It can go on for years before they even get an answer.
Okay, get this. We're talking about losing over 3 liters of fluid every single day. That's more than one of those giant soda bottles you see at the store. This isn't just, an inconvenience. This is a full-blown medical crisis. And for these patients, it's just the beginning of a very, very tough journey.
Right, so we're starting to get a picture of just how debilitating this is. And it's not just the physical side of things. It's the long, long road from just having symptoms to actually getting a diagnosis. So what is that symptom? Well, we're talking about prolonged, massive, watery diarrhea. And as this quote from the MSD manual points out, it's just relentless. For half the people with this, it's constant. For the other half, it's unpredictable, coming and going, but always disrupting, every single part of their life.
And this timeline? Wow. This really shows you just how frustrating that long road can be. I mean, think about it. A third of patients, thankfully, get diagnosed in under a year, but a full quarter of them, 1 in 4 people, suffer for 5 years or even more. Can you imagine going through that for 5 years with no idea what's causing it?
And all that fluid loss, it's not happening in a vacuum. It kicks off this whole cascade of other problems. You've got extreme tiredness, muscle weakness, nausea, cramping. It's all because the body is just so severely dehydrated and all its electrolytes are completely out of whack. So what in the world is the biological culprit here? What's causing all this chaos? Well, we're finally going to unmask the source.
The cause is something called a Vipoma. It's a rare tumor usually hiding out in the pancreas. And you can think of it like a tiny hormone factory that's just gone haywire. It starts pumping out this hormone, vasoactive intestinal peptide, or VIP, in absolutely massive amounts.
So here's what's supposed to happen. VIP hormone, in normal amounts, helps regulate water and electrolytes in your intestines. It's a good thing. But when a Vipoma shows up, it's a total overload. The system is flooded. It is literally like a faucet has been stuck in the on position, just gushing water into the intestines with no way to turn it off.
And if that wasn't enough, here's the real kicker. More than half of these Vipomas are malignant. They're cancerous, which means getting that diagnosis and starting treatment is incredibly urgent. Okay, so how do clinicians actually solve this mystery? Let's get into the diagnostic detective work. It really comes down to a 3-step path. First, you have to confirm what's called secretory diarrhea. Basically, prove the gut is pushing out fluid. Step 2, you measure those VIP hormone levels. And finally, step 3, you gotta find that tumor. And this right here is the telltale sign. It all comes down to a blood test. When a doctor measures the VIP levels in the blood, especially during a bout of diarrhea, and sees them sky high, that's it. That's the smoking gun. That confirms the diagnosis. Okay. Diagnosis confirmed. Now, where's the tumor? This is where they bring in the high-tech stuff. We're talking endoscopic ultrasounds, PET scans, all these advanced imaging studies. They're absolutely key to pinpointing the tumor's exact location so you can plan the treatment. So once the diagnosis is in and the tumor is located, the game plan switches. It's time to talk about the pathways to treatment, which means fighting this on 2 fronts. But before you can even think about the tumor, the absolute first priority is stabilization. You have to stop that crisis. That means immediate and continuous IV fluids and electrolytes to deal with the crazy dehydration and get the body's chemistry back to some semblance of normal.
And while you're doing that, there's a drug that can help control those floodgates. It's called octreoid, and it's amazing. It basically turns down that hormonal faucet we talked about. It suppresses the hormone secretion, which can give patients some really powerful and fast relief.
Now for the really good news. If the tumor is localized, meaning it hasn't spread, surgery can be curative. And we're talking a 50% chance of a complete cure. That's a huge deal. So this table kind of lays it all out. The strategy really depends on the situation. If the tumor is localized, surgery is the main goal. If it's metastatic, if it is spread, then the plan shifts to what's called debulking the tumor and using chemotherapy. And even if it can't be removed, there are still options, like controlling the symptoms and using targeted therapies to manage the disease.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground, so let's wrap this up with the 5 key takeaways you should remember about Vipoma.
So let's break it down. Number 1, Vipoma is that rare pancreatic tumor causing that massive diarrhea. 2, remember, more than half of them are malignant, which is serious. 3, the diagnosis hinges on that blood test showing high VIP levels. 4, treatment starts with stabilization, fluids and drugs like octreotide to control symptoms. And finally, number 5, surgery can cure about half of the localized cases, and there are other good options for when the disease has spread.
Which leaves us with this final, really important question. For rare diseases just like this one, how do we get better at this? How do we turn what is often a 5-year mystery into a 1-year diagnosis? Because for these patients, speeding that up can change everything.